Good evening, everybody. How are y'all? Hey, I see Tom at the bottom of my screen. How are you, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while. You're not on yet, so I can't hear you, but I do see you there. Yeah, Oscar and Megan are in the other room. We just had Chinese food and for dinner. We just met with our next group on a live video, had dinner, and now we are here. So we're going to get started in about a minute, folks. So please introduce yourself in the chat. Only a handful of you have. So, and hello to everyone who has said hello. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, we're going to get started very quickly here. And just waiting for my partners in crime to show up. It's Megan.
Hello.
And Oscar.
Just brewing some tea. How are we, everyone?
Hello, everybody.
Woo! What do Oscar and I have on today?
There are new shirts.
Everyone
new shirts. What is
over
this?
a little bit,
Oh,
please.
yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
There we go. Our
Looking
new
good,
uniform.
guys.
This is our new uniform. We
didn't get the
upgraded.
memo.
Can you turn around and show the back? No, that would be
Oh,
difficult.
yeah.
Well, I guess you could.
Wait, go down low. There you go.
Yeah.
Map of Panama.
Helping you call Panama home, folks.
That is our slogan.
Slogan.
Slogan. Oh, we're going to get started very, very shortly. Got a whole big crowd on tonight so far.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So welcome everybody. We're gonna start naming names, but hey, Mark and Monica, we're down in Los Tablas now.
Yeah?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oscar just got to
just.
see them in Pedicee.
Yeah.
You saw them here. Hey, Margaret, how are you?
That was very nice to see them.
Wonderful.
Every time. The group appreciate them very much. Join them for dinner.
Oh, right on. Great.
Yeah, they just did the whole move, so all the information is fresh in their mind.
Uh-huh.
I see a few Seattle people will be there in August. Wedding.
I see
Yeah.
my good friend Donna. How are you?
Donita.
Okay.
Hey, Tom. Sylvia.
Something funny about all of our guests tonight. I didn't realize until after I asked them all to come on tonight that they were on the same tour 6 years ago now.
5, yeah.
That was 2021.
Donna, look, it's Tom and Sylvia, Donna.
Tom and Sylvia and Donna, yeah. I was like, wow, that's throwback.
Yes.
And all happily living in Panama now.
All right. So we're going to kick this thing off because it's 1 minute after 7. So we should introduce ourselves quickly because there are people on here based on the numbers that do not know who we are. When we have some exciting announcements coming up for next week,
Yep.
make sure that thing stays out of the camera, Oscar. We can't tell anyone about it.
Special surprise.
Special surprise.
But Megan, do you want to start out with who we are?
Sure. Yeah, so we are retired Panama Tours and Panama Expat Service as well. Mainly, we have our 7-day tours, our 3-day tours, our private tours, and a few a la carte services for expats that already live here. I'm Megan. I'm our Director of Operations. So if you do come on tour with us, I'll help get you all set up and ready to come visit Panama and spend a week with us. I'm originally from Pennsylvania. Came here with the Peace Corps in 2018 and ended up meeting my husband, Oscar, and then joining the Retire in Panama team, and now get to help all of these wonderful people start their new chapter here in Panama and share everything that I learned about the country in Peace Corps as well as living here now. So we love it.
Yeah.
My name is Rod Larrabee. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I moved here 13 and a half years ago. And funny story, well, not really funny. This guy over here in that nice new t-shirt was my relocation guide 13 years ago in Panama. And at that time, he's always been a company man, his brand. I remember the first time seeing you, you had that little Exploria t-shirt.
No, that was mucho gusto.
Oh, mucho gusto. Yes, he had
Mucho
the
gusto
mucho
Panama
gusto
t-shirt, yeah.
Mhm. So, anyways, I came out here down here knowing nothing, and I was lucky to bump into Oscar, and he helped me through the moving process. It was immigrations, my vehicle, my driver's license, my taking me to the border when I needed to get out because my immigration wasn't done, like all of that stuff. So he was my savior back then, and we became business partners shortly thereafter. And we started doing small tourism stuff in Boquete, but people kept walking into our office needing help with relocation, like basically helping them, put the fires out. So we sat down and we said, let's do this from the beginning, Oscar. Let's help these people start and get their relocation going and get them the right lawyers, the right real estate people, the right rentals, the right insurance, the right movers, everything. And that's what we've been doing. So it's been an exciting 13 years that I've been here, and still moving forward. Go ahead, Oscar. Tell us about you.
Well, my name is Oscar Peña, originally from Cali, Colombia. Been in Panama pretty much 17 years. Briefly, Panama, I was living in Costa Rica for 3.5 years. I studied hotel tourism management in Colombia. I have a background, so also working in my parents' mechanic garage. And I'm descendant of full entrepreneurs. So I always have that mindset. Starting my own gig, and in Panama, I started seeing the need for many North Americans that were struggling with the language barrier and the culture differences, how to navigate between Panama. Some of them probably were getting into some situations where perhaps we're taking a little bit advantage, but mostly just because they're lacking information, not because the people were bad intentions. It's just lacking information, miscommunication, and people didn't realize how was the market and how the mindset of North Americans. So my past job in Costa Rica taught me a lot of that, and this is why also I saw an opportunity, and by me, wanting to be help other people because I was in the same shoes, even though they speak the language. Everything in Panama is way different than in Colombia, and we speak the same language. Our culture is speaking, we're very similar. We used to be the same country over 100 years ago. But seeing that, I just became a bridge between Panamanians and North Americans. And I take a lot of pride on that. And that's pretty much what I've been doing, trying to facilitate. So I have a master's degree for removing the red tape. Let's put it that way.
There we go.
So when I met Rod, I pretty much help him out to get his strength, his stuff. And I love what we do because it's a huge opportunity for people that are making a very strong life decision. This is not something that you take easy. This is a very important decision in your life. Relocating to a different country, it's about your finances, about your life. So we do honor this job very much, and our services, our focus, or basically everything you do from the beginning to the end will be there, and we have to hold your hand. We'll do so.
Perfect. Okay, couple of announcements before we get started on our Meet the Expats from the Beaches Q&A. First of all, you can ask questions by typing them in the chat. Let's stick at the beginning here to questions regarding the beaches locations that our guests are going to be talking about. Any other questions, don't worry. We're not going to ignore them. We'll wrap around at the end and come back to any other general questions at the end of the Q&A.
Yeah, but while our guests are speaking, you're welcome to put in the comments any questions specifically for the guests.
Yeah. If you want to ask our guests anything, just type it in right at that time. This is our weekly Thursday Q&A. As you know, there's nothing to sign up for, nothing to download, nothing to You just click on the link and join. For those of you who want to see our upcoming Q&As, I just put that in the chat. But next week, we are doing something very special. That's why it's called the special Q&A. We're not giving out too many secrets yet, guys. But that one there is you need to register for it. And it's the only Q&A we've had in the longest time we need to register. So I just put the link in the chat. That goes to our Q&A page. If you look down at the Q&A for the 24th of, I'm going to say, 24th of April, you just click on that link and you register that. We have a huge announcement, something that this relocation business has never seen before. We are announcing that next Thursday. So get yourself registered for that, okay?
Worth it.
Anyways, definitely. So, and then throughout this, now that you see our website, you can contact us directly through our website. There's a contact link right at the top. Contact us, or in your little menu if you're on your phone. Any questions or concern? We do have right now, as of yesterday, we had an emergency cancellation on our May tour of a couple. So we do have, doesn't happen often. We just finished a full April tour, but we do have a spot for a couple on our May 15th tour. So those of you who want it, I just put it up today. So I suggest you go on there, jump on it, and grab it if you want to come with us. Okay. Very good.
Introductions?
What are we doing?
Okay, let's take this first question, and that will lead us into introductions.
Okay.
Charles.
Oh, Charles. Okay.
Yeah. So Charles asks, which beach areas are the most popular with Canadians or English-speaking expats? So I would say generally we have about 4 major areas of beaches that expats gather at, and that would be like the Coronado area beaches. Not just Coronado, but there's others around that area too. The Oswego beaches down in the Oswego Peninsula, the Cherokee beaches over near us in our province, where we also have the Highlands, but we have the Pacific Coast beaches, and then Bocas del Toro Caribbean beaches. Those are like the 4 most popular areas. And we have guests from 2 of those areas tonight. We have Coronado and we have Oswego. So we'll bring on Tom first, because you guys are on first. And Tom and Sylvia, you guys will have to update me a little bit, because I didn't even realize you were here until recently. But they came on tour with us 6 years ago and recently reached out and said, hey, we're in Coronado, been here a while, super happy here. And thanks for helping make it happen for us. So how are you, Tom?
I'm doing fine. Unfortunately, Sylvia isn't here tonight. She got tied up in another commitment, and so I've got to carry the load myself. So
there we go.
Well, I guess I'll just have to come out to Coronado and see you guys in person soon. So how long have you guys been in Coronado now?
Well, we've been coming since the year after we were with you. I think we were with you in 2019.
Yeah.
Late, or maybe even 2020, just before the pandemic. So we've been coming back just about every year since then. Mm-hmm. And we spend 3 to 4 months every year down there. And I was just sitting here thinking, and we're not vacationing there. We live there. We're doing business from down there. We're enjoying life. We have a group of old friends that we've had, and every year we add on to that. But we live down there. So
yeah, and then you spend the rest of the year back in Canada?
Yeah, we have to come back to the snow and the cold, and because I must have done something wrong in my life, and I have to come back and pay for it. So
come on, Tom. I haven't seen snow in Canada in 13 years. You can do it.
I hope so. But
do you think you'll eventually come down here full time?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised at some point that I do, because it's sort of like my happy place. I love it down there. I love the weather. I love the food. I love the people. I love the way things are set up there. So yeah, I could see at some point in time of living down there full time.
Did
And
you
I
guys
don't.
end up getting your residency, your pensionado visas?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Did you get your residency in Panama, or are you just coming down as a tourist?
No, we're just coming down as tourists, basically.
And do you find that difficult at all?
Well, one of the first things that we run into is if we stay longer than 3 months, we run into an issue with the driver's license.
Yes.
That's an issue right off the bat, and they sort of want you to sort of come and live there. They don't want you to be a clinging on tourist, on and on and on. Like if you're going to be there, you got to get with the program, and I agree with that totally.
Yeah, but they do appreciate, especially the snowbirds that come down and spend their money. They're not taking jobs; they're just enjoying having fun and spending pension and spending their money there. So I think, so for those that don't know this, North Americans can stay in Panama for 180 days, but other countries can only stay 90 days. And there's a driver's license rule that lines up with that. So your driver's license only works for 90 days, a foreign license. Okay, well, we have a lot of questions coming in for you.
I'm going to go to the top so I don't miss them. Hey, Anton, yes, singles can book the May tour. We two singles are as good as one couple. Okay, I had specific to Cornell here.
Yeah, I did just see one.
So when you come down here, like, do you rent a car? Like, do you need a car in Cornell? Is the question.
You need a car. I've seen people try to do it without a car, and it doesn't work well. So we always rent a car for the length of time we're there, whatever, for 3 or 4 months, and yeah.
Can you give us some advice on who you rent from? Because as you know, cars are not cheap to rent in Panama.
Well, they're not cheap to rent and the condo that we rent, the lady who we rent it through, she also has a car or an interest in a car rental place. So she sort of looks after everything for us. So we get the condo, we get the car, we get looked after. So it's pretty good deal for us. I have rented from National, and they're just up the road, sort of towards Playa del, where are they? Up towards Bonaventura is where they are, and all the major companies are there. There must be 5 companies there, but you want to book ahead because there's a shortage of cars. So if you wait till the last minute and think you're going to walk in and pick through their inventory, there is no inventory.
Yeah.
So especially in the high season.
Good point.
Yeah.
So this is one I don't even know the answer. Do you know if there's any bowling alleys in Coronado area?
I've never heard of one in the Coronado area.
Only Panama City is the closest.
Panama City.
We do have a new one in David now. It's really fun.
It's very fun. Very good. Very good.
Okay. Now, months, do you spend months here that are part of the rainy season, like outside of December through April?
I've been there into April, and it started raining then. So I've seen a bit of, and the seasons are a little bit different year to year. That year the rains came early, so it rained quite a bit through April. So we saw some pretty big showers, and this year when we were down, we were there for 3 months, and we never saw a drop of rain.
Yeah.
Every day was exactly like the day before.
So in your experience in the months you've been there, when it has been raining, is it raining all day or is it afternoon?
No, you'll see it start to build up. You know that it's going to rain. It'll rain for half an hour or 20 minutes, and then it's over.
Yeah. Okay.
And the water goes away surprisingly fast.
Very fast. Yeah, I've noticed that here. Right?
Yeah. But I've seen the golf course when it was raining, and there was sort of a downhill fairway, and it looked like a river. In fact, there was so much water going down into a creek at the bottom of it that a caiman came out. And I got a picture of him as he's trying to work his way up the river or up the green. So,
There's a good question. Tom, are you staying in the same condo each visit? Like each
we're
year?
staying in we're staying in the same tower. We move around to different condos, whatever's available, whatever we can get. But we like the building. The building is close to the golf course. It's kind of central down there to what goes on, and it's a nice building, a really nice
What's the
building.
building called?
It's called the Golf Tower.
Yeah, yeah, it's Coronado Golf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
do you golf?
What's that?
Do you golf?
Yes, I do. 3 times a week, sometimes 4.
I remember, yeah. Wonderful.
So you got the spot in Coronado.
Yeah, that's it. Because you can walk right down to the course from there.
Right there.
And you're doing Michelle's asking, you're doing short-term leases, right? Like
Yes.
4 or 6 months.
Yep.
Explain how you got that. Like, I think a lot of people, I'm getting a lot of questions on that.
Well, after we spent a week with you folks, then we decided we were going to stay for another week, and we ended up at San Carlos because we'd heard about Coronado, and from San Carlos we wandered down, and it's a gated community, and I was afraid of the gate. It took me a couple of days to get up enough nerve to drive through the gate, and well, you're scared of what you don't know. So, anyways, we got inside, and we asked directions to the golf course. They sent us down to the golf course, and we walked in, and they've got it's a really, really nice setup that they've got there. And we wandered in, unbeknownst to us, what was going on. And the first room we saw was there was a banquet going on in there. So we thought it was just like a buffet. So we just went up, picked up a plate, and sat down. Then we find out that it was a private affair of golfers from
we
the.
Happening to our expats all the time.
So you got a free meal, did you?
So we found out it was the retired canal workers golf tournament. So, anyways, they were real friendly and talked to us. And eventually, we had to turn ourselves in. But the people were so good from the resort. They took us on a tour, and they showed us the golf course, the beautiful pool area that they've got, and then took us down to they've got a beachfront facility as well. So when we left, I said, if we're ever coming back here, we're coming here. And we've been going there ever since, and I've never regretted doing that. It's been a great experience, and the people down there treat you so well. So
beautiful.
I love that story.
Very nice, yeah.
The swimming. A lot of people wonder what the ocean is like there for swimming.
Do you guys go swimming in the ocean?
Yeah, there's times of the year when it's a good idea and times when it's a bad idea. January and February are good times to go because there's no stingrays in the water or jellyfish, in the water. You get into March and the jellyfish start coming up, and people get bit once in a while, and you got to pay attention to the riptides.
Yeah.
And they get big tidal moves in there too. Like from our condo, we're on the 26th floor, and we could watch. And one day the beach was not that big, and the next day the beach is really big. The water's way back, but it's black and white sand. And on the hot days, which are pretty much every day, on that black sand, you want to have sandals on. Because we would sit up and to get chairs and stuff out there. We would sit and watch people, and they would come in bare feet, and that black sand, it gets hot. It's really hot.
People who haven't seen it, it's volcanic sand, and it's full of sparkles. It's actually quite pretty, but it does get very hot.
It's almost
and the beaches are beautiful. Like there's miles of beaches there. And you can hike on the beaches. You just want to pay attention to the tides because they could actually, close in on you if there happens to be a jet out in the, in the rocks that you could walk around on the way out. And if you're not careful coming back, it could all be underwater. So
Yeah.
you got to pay attention.
Things
Okay.
that you get to learn after being there for a little bit.
How about
Oh.
wildlife? What do you see for wildlife down there?
Well, it was the last thing we saw was a possum running across the road. We've seen an armadillo. There was and all kinds of birds, like you name it for birds, and they're there. They're all there. We've seen sloth. A sloth
Nice.
came out and got on the golf course.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's
and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
People have talked, and I never saw it, but they said that there was a black panther that they saw over by Vista Mar, which was fairly close to us. So there's wildlife around there.
Yeah, there's a lot of mountains just north of that whole area.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're obviously looking at a new rental every year. It's been 5 years. What are, like, don't tell us what you pay, but what are the price ranges in that building? Like, what does it go from the smallest 1 bedroom to the biggest, nicest 3 bedroom?
And it depends on how long you're staying. But if you were staying for, say, 6 months, like some people do, the rents get a lot better. You could be paying, I heard, as low as $1,800 a month and as high as $3,000 a month. But they're also, when you're paying $3,000, you're getting top, some of the top floors with a bigger square footage in them. And we've had both. And what, to be honest, the $2,000 ones are just fine. They're all I'd ever want. But
perfect.
And that's all inclusive?
It's all inclusive except for your power. And we got our power bill the other day and we didn't really like it, but Sylvia spent a lot of time in the condo and she ran the air conditioning a lot. So that's the only thing that they add on to it.
Yeah.
What's the highest it will get if you're running it almost full time?
What is the which?
The highest electric bill you'll get if you're really running it a lot.
Oh, $300 a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not bad. I was
Not
expecting
bad.
higher. I've heard higher. So,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to add these 3 items, 3 questions into one. The stability of the internet, power, and water. Since you've had 5 seasons here, you must have, have dealt with that.
We've seen it all. The internet is pretty constant in again that building. We've got good internet on there. We've had never really had any problems with the internet at all. And there's people that come down and they work from home there, and it seems to work for them. So the internet isn't an issue. Power comes and goes in that part of the world, but the building we're in has a generator, a big generator. And I mean, all that happens is you see a flash and then the generator takes over, and it can run for 20 minutes and I've seen it run for 12 hours.
Okay.
So
the generator powers your unit also, like powers everything inside your unit?
It powers everything.
Yeah, correct.
So if you got an electric stove, it's not an issue. Yeah. Like it's a huge generator. When that thing kicks in the parking lot, like it can scare the heck out of you. So, and I know because I seem to be standing behind it all the time when it starts. So
why I asked that. Some buildings have generators just for elevators and public lighting. Some have like Tom's building, it powers everything. So there's no issue. How about water?
Water can be an issue. Our building has a well, but the well has not got enough capacity to keep up. So we're tied into IDAN, which is the water distribution arm. I think it's an arm of the government. It depends on who tells the story, but they deliver the water to all the towns and cities around there. But they've had problems and they're not as reliable as they should be. So our building, they're in the process of drilling another well, and they've got storage facilities, and they figure with 2 wells they don't need IDAN. But there's been times in droughts when the water gets shut off and they're hauling water from the pool on top of the building to flush their toilets. I haven't experienced that, but we were on some water rationing for a few days, and it wasn't a big deal. You get a pail and you store a bit of water, and they gave us a few hours each day that we could use it, and we were fine.
Perfect.
Yeah, and remember that you guys are there in the driest time of year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Wow. This was exciting. Tom,
Yeah.
so great to see you again.
Thank you so
Make
much.
sure you
Tom.
say hi to Sylvia for us.
We want to give a little bit of time to Donna and
Yeah. And next year, you guys need to come out to some of our dinners with our guests.
I know we usually, I don't know if you're here in December, but usually in December, we always do a big end of year party with whoever's in the country that's come on tour with us.
Well, it was great to see you guys this year, and I should have told you a long time ago that we were, that we'd been coming down. But we're big time supporters of Panama. Like that is the place to go. So
Most important is most important is you guys were doing good and happy this whole time.
Yeah,
that's the
right.
most important thing.
Well, and you come back and tell other people about it, and there's a bunch of people that have followed us down there now. So,
yeah. Well, good to see you again, Tom. Please give me our best greetings to your wife, and looking forward to see you again in the future when you come back to Panama.
Well, we will definitely let you know next time we get there.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Bye now.
Go ahead.
All righty, we got Donna on next down in the Asuero. Well, I don't know if you're there right now. You'll tell us.
Hey.
Hello.
OG follower and supporter. We love Donna, and she's lived in spent time all over Panama, but has been down in the Asuero for a while at Playa Rompio near Chitre. And so tell us a little bit about what it's like living there.
Okay. Well, it's a little different than the Coronado area because Rompillo is rural. There's a lot of farmland around and cattle, and sometimes cattle on the beach. But I live in a condominium development that's very close to the beach. It's a 3-minute walk to the beach. And so in the condominium development, we have a large pool. There's, I think, like 38 units or so. And during dry season, quite a few of them are occupied. And then during the rainy season, there is only about 3 or 4 of the units occupied. And I am a full-time resident. I've been here 3 years now. And so there's, a little difference between the dry season and the rainy season in terms of all the activity going on within the development, within the condominium development. So I'll talk a little bit. What was that, Megan?
Getting quieter now. Now we're getting into rainy season. It's a lot quieter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The development, I don't know the real history of it. It was built maybe 15, 20 years ago by a gentleman who was French Canadian. And so each condo is individually owned, and the majority of the owners are French Canadian. And I rent from a couple who, let's see, he's from Paris and she's from Algeria, but they do live now full-time in Montreal and have this condo, and it's been a good move for me to be in this particular condo. But just to say a little bit about the beach itself, kind of referring to some of the questions that came up, it's a kind of a beige sand beach. It doesn't have the volcanic sand. It's a very smooth sand, so walking barefoot is very nice, very easy. And from point to point is about a mile. So walking from one point to the next point, you can get in a mile or 2 miles if you walk it both ways. And it's a pretty clean beach. It's a pretty shallow beach. When it's low tide, the water is way out. And it's kind of fascinating to me. I'm from Missouri, never lived on a beach before, but so it's kind of fascinating to me to walk on the ocean floor, to walk way out the ocean floor. But I'm not the most confident swimmer, so during higher tide, I don't tend to swim this beach. There's some other beaches around Panama that I swim, but this one I don't. Our pool is huge. It's 100,000 gallon swimming pool, so I use the swimming pool.
That's a nice pool.
Yeah, it is. It is.
How is the safety? How do you feel safe in the area? I mean, I know the gated community is very safe, and we have been personally. But what is the safety? How do you feel when you go to the beach by yourself and just want to run by yourself?
Yeah, I really have no concerns, and I mean, I'm always looking in, where I'm walking because of sea snakes or, fishing tackle, or I'm watching where I'm walking, that kind of thing. But in terms of people, it's friendly. It's just como está and happiness. Yeah. It's lovely. And Rompillo as a community is only maybe 200 people. I mean, it's small compared to Coronado. And, so it's a place where you do need a car, because to do your shopping, you're going to drive a half hour to get to Chitre or 35 minutes to get to Las Tablas. And there's a really solid expat community that lives there and we have a lot of it's a Panamanian town. And so the expats are kind of blended in, and every other house is expat or Panamanian. And they do animal rescue. One of my little activities that I've done is I feed the feral cats, and I've caught 11 of them and had taken them in and gotten them neutered, and 6 of them were little kittens. Oh my. So because it is rural, the social activities are just with your friends and kind of what you plan to do. We meet with the expats on Thursdays in Chitre at the Gran Azuero for lunch. It's every week, every Thursday, and 30, 40 people show up. It all changes, which group shows up at any. There's regulars, but the rest of people come and go. There's a woman that teaches painting, a woman that does photography. One of my hobbies is, so you kind of develop your own hobbies, and I sew. I'm very slow, I'm very amateur, but if I do some mending for you, it's gonna hold.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Great, that's an awesome overview. We have a bunch of questions coming in, so we can.
Oh, go ahead.
Sure.
Cool. Okay.
Should we do the fishing and whale? I think the fishing and whale watching question came in for Tom, but I mean, you can probably address that too.
Well, okay, so I've done whale watching off of the islands with a boat captain. We're Isla Contadora, going out around the Pearl Islands, the archipelago, and then Isla Iguana. That's where I've done whale watching. But off my coastline, no, because I'm at sea level and it's hard to see far out.
Yeah.
It's more like down in Petitcie.
Yeah.
Although I think I have heard, like in the Coronado area, that you can see some whales, and you can.
I I condo sat for a couple that was on the 15th floor of in Nueva Gorgona. And so when you're at that height, you can see very far out. And so I imagine you know, if they're during whale season, you could probably see them.
You know where you can see close to Coronado in Punta Chame, which is a stretch of land that goes far out.
Yes.
I can only guarantee from Punta Chame the whales will be just crossing around.
I've been there. But I'll have to go back for that. That would be
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
I got a great question coming up. Donna, originally after our tour, she moved to Boquete, and then
Yes.
and then she left us. Oh no. Okay, so the next question is, how did you go about finding your rental? Like, how do you,
Okay, well,
like, the area of this world is totally different than
Yeah.
Coronado, Boquete, Panama, as far as how people find rentals. How did you do it?
Well, I'll give you a little plug here. At least for Boquete, I worked through Sherry Shearett, who I met through the tour. And she did a Zoom walkthrough on the casita while I was still in the States, and had the
that was the first place moved into. Yeah.
Yes, and he had the owner there, and so he and I were able to talk and ask questions of each other, and it was really nice that I actually had the unit rented. You know, so when I came when you you guys picked me up at the David airport and brought me into town, you know, I went right on home. Okay, and then for where I am now in Rompillo, I had met a couple that actually I met them on the tour when they lived in Petitsi, and then, you know, I won't get into that whole story, but we met again, and they had moved to Rompillo, and they invited me to come. So in Boquete, I was there about 8 months, and in that 8 months, I got my car, I got my driver's license, I got my visa. Just took care of the business of moving to Panama. And then I was thinking about, you know, I'm from Missouri, and I've never lived on a beach. I'm in Panama. And then I ran into this couple again, and they invited me to come stay in their condo in Rompillo. And during that visit, I met with like the property manager here, and she took me around, and, you know, anyway, I negotiated on a lease in one of the condos and made the move.
So it was through word of mouth. So this is something I want to move into now. Along the Asuero, this is Chatre, Las Tablas, Petitsi, along those beaches, because you live on the beach. What rents do you see, like from where to where, for a nice place like yours? You don't have to tell us your rent, but, you know, they're smaller 1-bedroom studios, 2 bedrooms. Like what is the range in that area?
I think Rompillo does have a road where lined with houses, and those houses are on the beach. Mm-hmm. And I think the rents on those houses are, you know, under 1,000. I don't know that they go down really low, like 400.
Yeah, well, that's a house on the beach. How about the condos?
Yeah, the condos are, you know, in the 1,000 to 1,000 to 1,500. 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom. I've got a 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
So
you can live a lot cheaper than you can along Gorgona. Like the rents are more reasonable, it seems, in that area.
Yes, but we don't have some of the, you know, amenities in Gorgona. The shopping and all the retail is there. It's
all the big box stores.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you don't have a mall in Rompillo?
In Chatre, there is a mall in Chatre. There is.
Okay, like, people don't know where you are, so I'm going to point out. Okay, guys, this is Panama City, where my arrow is. That's the Coronado area. Wait, here.
Right.
There's the Coronado area, and we are over here.
I don't know if they can
right
see
where
your
I'm
mouse.
pointing.
You might need to drop a pin.
I don't have the ability to drop the pin.
Unless you put your mouse over there.
Oh.
Then probably. But
And
you
they
can
should
see
change.
there, right in between Chame and San Carlos,
Yeah.
is where
Yes.
Coronado is.
Yeah.
And then
Nice.
if you see Chitre, just like, you know, a little bit southeast of on the
I
Pacific coast of
so
I'll tell you
Chile.
exactly where it is.
Well, I've lost the mouse. So
I'll tell you exactly
fine,
what it is.
That's fine.
It is.
Give me a moment. I'll tell you. It's basically
Yes. Yes.
right there.
Yes.
Well,
Kinda sounds like that.
but that's how I can
That's the
expand
bottom of
this
the
area.
screen. We can't see it on the screen.
Can expand that area, but that's pretty
You can see
much
right here.
right outside. As soon as you pass La Villa of Los Santos,
Yeah, let me
bring
just
it
to
put it-
drive an extra, what you say, Donna, 9 kilometer, 2 kilometers after La Villa of Los Santos.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, out of Los
Yeah, look at
Santos.
that. Make it harder. Look at that.
Yeah, there's
right
my
there.
the condominiums. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
it.
You can
Along
see
the coast
Chitre.
next to the city of Chitre. You are
Yes.
about an hour and a half north of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for
That answers
those
that question.
with those folks,
That's my pool. That's my pool.
Oh, is it?
so
Yeah.
Well, no.
So for those folks that you wonder, fisher people, they wonder about that part of the peninsula. That peninsula, the whole coast is called the Tuna Coast. All fishermen is a deep sea fishing inshore.
Yes.
So it's a big drop in a very close distance. So all the Azuero Peninsula, you don't have to go offshore to catch deep sea fish like a tuna, mahi-mahi, and other
Or at least
species.
not, you can't fish
But-
from the shore, but you don't have to go as far.
Yeah, offshore is like
That's what I mean.
You
The
don't have
fishermen
to
will
do
know
that
this
much.
reference: offshore,
Yeah.
inshore.
Great. Are dogs allowed on the beach?
Yes.
Panama wine.
No, real logs.
Even horses.
Way,
Yeah.
way less logs, but please pick up after your dogs. That's
Right.
all I
Yeah.
know.
Come on,
You do-
those are foodies for the fishies.
There
Hey,
are
I-
a lot of feral animals, a lot of feral dogs. And so if you're walking your dog, just be alert, you know, and most of the feral animals will steer clear and there's no real aggression. But you know, just you never know about a dog and a dog, you know, how they're going to react to each other. So you just, you know, if
Don't
you're
have
walking,
a dog, you can walk the feral dogs then. Yeah.
the feral dog will follow you. Yeah, that's true.
Now, have you used the Chitre to Panama City flight through? airport?
Yes. Yes, it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice. And so for Chitre, at the Chitre airport, I last time I did it, I was away for 2 days and I left my car at the airport. And it was just fine. It's kind of a grassy parking area. It's not a real developed parking lot, but it's really nice when there's not a lot of cloud cover, because in the flight, the half-hour flight, you're flying over the coastline, and that's really cool to see it from the sky, to see the coastline. When it's cloudy, you don't see so much, but you know, when
Yeah,
it's
that's
when it's
Yeah,
clear,
you're
it's
under
nice.
cloud.
And it's a
such
small
short
flight,
flight.
just 2 seats on each side, so you get a
Yes.
good view.
Yeah.
Where's the next question?
Okay, there we go. Let's talk about hospital. So you're in Rompio.
Okay.
Where's the nearest hospital?
Well, nearest is a public hospital. It's called Anita Moreno, and it's pretty close to where I am, and I've actually spent quite a bit of time there. In Chitre, Anita Moreno is not within one of the towns, like within La Villa or within Chitre. But it's pretty large hospital. I haven't spent an overnight there, but I've had an emergency room visit when I was a passenger in a car accident and was well attended to, and other things going on. Inside of Chitre, there's a number of clinics and a number of larger hospitals, and I'm not real knowledgeable about them. I'm more knowledgeable about the clinics where, CT scan or ultrasound or colonoscopy or get your vision checked or things like that. You can, you communicate with all the expats through a WhatsApp chat group. And for this area, they've developed a list of doctors and vendors and handymen that speak English. And so there's information like that's available. So it's important to always stay like connected to the expat community in that regard. And I happen to have a really terrific translator, and I just used him. I had to get a registrado stamp on a new passport. I had to renew my passport. I just had to renew my driver's license, and he was helping me with that. And just the business of things, I'll take him because, it's kind of appreciated that, because I've got crappy Spanish. And more, it helps as much as you can and communicate in just the niceties of human interaction. It's really good to have, to be building the Spanish vocabulary proficiency. But like for doing business, it's kind of appreciated, that I bring somebody. So it's not so much of a struggle. Anyway, I've got a good guy, and he's
So folks, for those of you who don't know the area well, the where Donna is, Playa El Rampio, it's just outside of Chatre, 15-20 minute drive. Chatre is the hub of the Azuero. It has a population, a greater Chatre of 80,000 people, has all the government offices, has the big public hospital that Donna was talking about. And I assume you get your driver's license in Chatre.
Yes.
Has an office there, and
yes.
all that stuff. So even for people who live in Tennessee, Chatre is the hub. It has all the big shops and the nearest McDonald's. No, sorry.
There's more than one McDonald's in the Azuero.
I know what that's in there is. Okay, this is a good question because people have this stigma. I don't know where it comes from that all the beaches in Panama are full of garbage. Is the beach full of garbage? Is the beach full of garbage there?
In Rampio, it's a pretty clean beach. We do a beach cleanup a couple of times a year. And let's see. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
This is one of my beach finds.
Oh, that's a good find.
Well, that was a good find.
That is a very good
His
find.
hand is a little eaten up, but anyway, this is Mickey the Sorcerer. He was one of my beach finds.
Worth it to go beach cleaning.
Yeah.
Fine.
Treasures, treasures of the beach.
Yeah, it's pretty clean, but just watch, you watch your step,
I don't know if it's like this where you're at, but we find it the Cherokee beaches or the islands, especially after a big storm, that there might be more garbage because it's just washed. The rivers have washed a lot of garbage out, or it's just been washed in from the storms from the ocean. And that's a lot of times the cleanups will be organized. But it's not that people are going to the beach and just like trashing it.
No, right. You do find a lot of kids' Crocs.
Kids' Crocs, they forget their shoes.
Yeah, the sandals, the flip-flops, that happens too.
Yeah.
Just asking how much of the flights to PC. Most of the interior flights to, whether it's Chatre, Tennessee, they're around the $100 mark one way. But this is a good question. Let's talk about the weather there, Donna. What are your daily temperatures and what times is it best to be outside when it's not crazy hot? Says Izzy.
Well, yeah. I will to say, I guess you can tell I'm pretty fair skinned. And anyway, so for me, when I walk the beach, I walk in the mornings. And also afternoon walking the beach, the sand is hot. I mean, it may not be the black volcanic sand up like in Coronado, but it is hot. So you don't walk your dog in the afternoons or walk yourself barefoot in the afternoons. It's in the mid to upper 80s, and of late, we've had a couple of low 90s. And there is a fair amount of humidity. So, yeah, when I first moved to the beach, I struggled some with feel the heat getting to me, but I've adapted, and it's like I sweat then, I sweat now, but now it doesn't bother me as much. So
it's true.
it's just,
Yeah,
that's just me, you know, and I've
If
adapted.
you're on the beach, then you got to get the ocean breezes, which got to help.
Yeah, right with the situation where my condo is, I don't get particular ocean breezes unless I'm in my upstairs bedroom.
Yeah.
Downstairs, I don't.
Okay. All right. We're great.
Yeah.
We hit a lot of the questions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Maybe
Donna.
we'll just
My
we're gonna
pleasure.
run out.
General
We have
questions.
some general. We have 3 or 4 general questions we want to go through, but it's always wonderful to see you, Donna.
Yeah. Thank you so much for making
I
the
gotta
time
see
and
you in
coming
person,
on.
man. I gotta get up there.
I know. You gotta go check out
My
Rompio.
next trip to Panama City, I'm gonna take a detour and visit Donna.
There you go.
Okay.
You heard it.
It's always lovely to see you every time I go to Chitre, mamita.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. And Megan, Rod, I miss you guys. So I need to get to Boquete.
Oh, I
Yes,
know.
Yeah.
we would love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rod and I, we have a places, so
Always a
Come on.
bed for you
There
here.
we go. That's always
Okay. Thank
we have
you.
our Christmas party every year. Come on, Donna.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, girl.
I see a shout out to me from Margaret Martin.
Oh,
And I
Margaret,
I want to say hi to her. I remember her from a couple of
Remember
tours back.
Margaret? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Margaret will be coming here shortly. So, and we're looking at the swirl, so you'll probably be seeing her.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so
much.
Talk
Have a
soon.
nice evening. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Oh, Donna's such a wonderful lady. We love her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wish she was still here in Boquete. That's okay.
Okay. Where do we go
Sparrow has
here?
been good to her.
Yeah.
Flights. Can you travel to Costa Rica or other countries? Panama City is the hub of the Americas. Out of Chitre, no, you can't fly. You can only fly to Panama City.
Yeah, but there are currently W Costa Rica flights now.
Eventually,
Yeah,
gonna start
starting
again.
next month.
Mhm.
May.
Oh, next month.
Yeah, May.
Okay.
I believe.
Who is doing that? Air Panama?
Yes, I'm thinking about doing it for my holiday this summer.
I might
never
doing
been
that
to
too.
San Jose.
I might doing that too.
Okay,
I have a US visa, so I can go no problem.
No, I'm just going to San Jose.
Sure, I say.
Okay, let's talk about the beaches in Panama City. We actually don't really have beaches. In
No,
Panama.
for sure there are.
There is.
Waterfront.
They're not popular. I mean, the canal's right there. Ships
Yeah.
are all around.
Yeah.
Maybe not the water that you're dying to jump into. So
But
that's why they're not as
What's it
popular.
called?
Veracruz. No,
Yeah.
Veracruz.
Veracruz is
No,
the closest.
unfair. The
There's
Veracruz.
also the Playa Bonita.
And the Arraijan, close by. But the closest to Panama City is Veracruz. There is a very well-known all-inclusive resorts in the area, so that'll be the closest. Now, if you want to be in an island, the closest island will be Tapoga Island.
Yes.
You
So
can-
any like Panamanians that will go vacation or have second homes at the beach, they're going to Coronado area or they're going to the islands outside.
or Veracruz, or Arraijan, or the whole coastline all the way through Panama.
Yeah,
West.
but a little bit outside the city.
Yeah.
I know people when they see the Panama City skyline, they think of beaches. It's not. We have a beautiful waterfront.
Yeah.
They spent like $100 million developing the Cinta Costera,
Yeah.
and we have a 5-kilometer walkway, but it's a wall, just seawall. It's not a beach.
Yeah.
There's no sand, so you got to go across the canal or over to the islands to.
So a little
or
bit
the
of
Pearl
sand in
Islands.
Old Town Casco Viejo, but not
Yeah,
much.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Good question. Oh, how do people fly? Michael, simple. From Albrook Airport, Air Panama, you fly to Chitre. And there are Chitre, like I'd mentioned, it's a big city, so you get Budget, Avis, all the rent-a-car guys are there. Fly Rumpel is 20-minute away drive, Oscar.
Yeah.
Tops.
Yeah.
Tops, 20 minutes. Tops.
Or you take a bus. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
Or
rent
taxi.
a car. Mhm.
Okay, the map. I deleted most, but slot, whale watching.
We're watching all the
almost
Pacific
good.
coast.
Okay. Alrighty. Last minute, guys. We can't stress. What is happening next week? What is happening next week, Oscar?
Special announcement.
Why don't you hold that thing up and put a
No.
corner up?
No.
Just a corner. Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Am I showing? I'm not showing the corner.
No.
Yeah. No. Megan says no. So you
No,
guys
no.
can't see it. Register
Sorry.
for this Q&A.
It's right here.
Honestly,
That's all you get.
that is not the. I really apologize, guys. That was really dumb of me. Well, you can go there. What does it say? I can't see my link. Copy link. There we go.
There it is.
This is the actual what I'm posting now. Next week, special announcement.
Oscar is
Something-
holding just a little piece of it. Just a
This
little
is
piece of it.
in the last 10 years. This is something different. No one's done this before. We're going to do it. Heck, we want to help more people relocate to Panama,
We're just
But-
trying to tip of the iceberg.
but we want to be
Tip of the
involved in
iceberg.
that solution.
Yeah.
That's always been our model, guys. It's not as far as how many tours we can put on, how many people we can put in a bus. That's not it. Once you're done the tour, or like we need to work with you to help you move here. So we want to help more people move here, and we're going to announce next week how we're going to do that. So get registered. Even if you're on our list, you won't get all the benefits unless you register.
And for those that are seeking to do perhaps to see in Panama and explore Panama with us and potentially seeing this, remember we have last minute spot.
Yeah, let's do a spot. Let's see if someone.
Very, very rare happens because the way how our tours and operation handles are way different than the other options. So there's a very unique opportunity.
And our Highlands tour in June too. So one or two spots left.
Definitely. Hey, Clint. We can't get into this because this thing's gonna get cut off. But this couple you see right here are raising a family in Panama, and Oscar has been for 15 years.
We're
So,
raising
please.
2 kids here in Panama.
Look at that link I sent you. Just click on it. Go to the contact us. We will get your email, and they can tell you some stuff about
Schools.
schools in Panama for sure.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks
Hey,
for
Teresa.
joining.
Looking
So
forward to
much.
seeing ya. Hi,
Tom,
Margaret.
Donna, Tom, please tell Sylvia.
All right,
Your best
guys.
greetings.
Bye,
And,
guys. Good night.
Thanks everybody.
happy Easter, everybody.
Yeah, have a great Easter weekend, folks.
Talk next week.